Self-confidence is the single most important skill that you must develop. You can have all the talent, the ideas, the opportunities in the world. None of it matters if you don't believe in yourself enough to use them. And if you don't build your self-confidence, you'll sabotage every opportunity, talk yourself out of your dreams, and stay stuck. Lack of confidence doesn't just hurt you, it hurts the world. The woman who would have solved cancer by now is working at McDonald's because she didn't believe in herself enough to go to med school. Let me tell you a story. In 1954, Roger Bannister did what experts said was impossible. He ran a mile in under 4 minutes. For 9 years, the world record sat at 4 minutes and 1 second. No one could break it because everyone believed it couldn't be done. Bannister refused to accept that. He trained, he visualized, he believed. And on race day, he finished in 3 minutes and 59.4 seconds. Here's the craziest part. Within a year, other runners started breaking the 4-minute mile too. Nothing about human biology changed in those months, only the belief that it was possible. That's the power of self-confidence. It changes what's possible. Now, you might say, okay, but I'm no Roger Bannister. Neither am I. In fact, I started out as a shy introvert who hated being on camera. I had zero confidence on screen. It took me 350 videos before I could record a clip without completely cringing at myself. 350 videos public, and about 700 videos before I finally thought, hey, I'm actually starting to get good at this. My first year on YouTube, I got only 25 subscribers. 5 years in, I had 2,000. That was not an overnight success, but I kept going. And those hundreds of repetitions built my confidence like a muscle. I went from a guy who dreaded the spotlight to someone who can speak to millions of people. That skill was earned, not given. So I know what you're thinking right now, Evan. I'm just not a confident person. I wasn't born with it. I'm an introvert. I failed. I get imposter syndrome. This is just how I am. I hear you. And I'm going to call you out on that limiting belief. No one is born with self-confidence. You think I was? I just told you I wasn't. Every confident person you see, the speakers, the CEOs, the athletes, they all started out full of doubts and fears too. The difference is they didn't stop there. They decided to build the skill of confidence. They felt the fear and they did it anyway. So no. You don't get to cop out and say, I'm not a confident person, as if that is some permanent state for you. You become a confident person by doing the things that scare you. Even if you're shaking, even if you stutter, even if you fall on your face, especially if you fall on your face, because each time you get back up, you prove to yourself that you're stronger than you thought. So how do you do it? How do you train self-confidence like a muscle and make it unbreakable? Let's break it down step by step, and I'll show you exactly how to build unstoppable self-confidence. If you've been here before, drop a hashtag Believe in the comments below so I can feature you here in a future video. And if you're new, welcome to Believe Nation, the only channel that helps you believe in yourself daily, one video at a time. Believe. Confidence is a skill. The first thing to understand is that confidence is a skill. It comes from action, not wishful thinking. Think about learning how to ride a bike. You can read all the books about balance, you can watch all the tutorials, but you won't feel confident riding a bike until you actually get on the bike and you pedal. Self-confidence works the same way. You have to actually do the thing. You gain confidence through doing. Every action you take, even if it's small, is like a rep in the gym for your confidence muscle. Start with small wins. Science actually proves this. When you achieve even a minor goal, your brain releases dopamine, which makes you feel good and motivates you to take on more. Those small victories literally chemically boost your confidence and your resilience. So set yourself up to win daily. It could be as simple as getting up on time, making that one phone call that you've been avoiding, or hitting a short workout. Don't dismiss these little goals. Celebrate them. Each small win is proof to yourself, I can do this. And your brain says, great. What's next? You're building a positive feedback loop. Success leads to confidence, leads to more action, leads to more success. So, for example, if you're terrified of public speaking, start by presenting to a few friends or even just making a short video for yourself, whether you post it on YouTube or not. When you finish it, no matter how it went, acknowledge that win because you did it. That's a rep. Next time, it will be a little easier. Remember, confidence isn't, I know I'll succeed. Confidence is, I'll be okay even if I fail and I'll learn from it. You build confidence by embracing failure. That brings me to the next point. You build confidence by embracing failure, not avoiding it. Most people think confident people are unafraid of failing. Nope, they're just as afraid. They just don't let it stop them. They understand that failure, it's part of the process. I like to say, if you try and it works out, awesome. You now have a success on your belt and proof that you can go do more. But if it doesn't work out, also awesome. You survived, you learned, and now you know that you can handle more than you thought before. Either way, you win. When I was 19, I hit one of the biggest failures in my life up to that point. My first business was struggling and I felt like a complete loser. I was making $300 a month. I was too embarrassed to tell my friends how badly it was going. I literally told my business partner, I quit. I feel worthless. Imagine that. My whole identity was Evan, the entrepreneur. And here I was quitting because I had no confidence that we could make it. And that night, I felt like my dream died. But the next morning, I woke up and something in me said, not yet. Try one more thing. There has to be a way. And I decided to study Bill Gates and how did he build Microsoft? Because I needed a model of success. I discovered that Microsoft grew through partnerships. So I tried reaching out to potential partners for our company. And it worked. We landed a deal that paid us $13,500, which at the time to me felt like $1 million compared to $300 a month. More importantly, it proved my business could work. And that single win transformed my confidence. I went from wanting to quit to thinking, maybe I can do this. Notice, nothing changed about who I was. It didn't magically become smarter overnight. I simply found the strategy that worked and I took action on it. Action breeds confidence. So the lesson, turn your failures into research. Each failure is telling you, this approach, it didn't work. Try something else. So instead of I failed, I suck, it's I failed, I learned. Let's adjust and let's go again. When you adopt that mindset, failure, it loses the fangs, it loses its poison. It's no longer this final judgment on you that you suck. It's just a data point. You remain confident because you know it's just part of the game, not the end of the game. As an entrepreneur, expect that most things you try will not work the first time, and that is okay. Your confidence grows when you realize you can fail and still be okay. You can still figure it out and keep moving forward. Manage your environment. Now, while you're racking up those small wins and learning from your losses, there's something else that you must do. Manage your environment. Confidence is contagious. So surround yourself with people and inputs that build you up. This is huge. If you're constantly around naysayers who tear you down, it's like trying to climb with a monkey on your back. It's so much harder than it needs to be. Now, I was lucky. My mom planted the seeds of confidence in me from a very young age. She used to tell me, Evan, you can do anything you believe that you can. I wasn't a straight A student. I got B's and C's, and becoming an entrepreneur certainly wasn't the safe path. But hearing you can do it again and again from someone who believed in me, that was everything. And her voice became my voice. When I faced big decisions, I could hear her. You're Evan Castrilli Carmichael. Of course you can do it. Not everyone gets that kind of support from their family. I get it. But you can choose to create a supportive environment right now. Go find your tribe, even if it's just one person to start who believes in you, who pushes you. It could be a mentor, a friend, a fellow entrepreneur, or even an online community. Hey, Believe Nation is here for you. When you can't find the confidence inside yourself, you need people who will lend you some of theirs. There's a famous principle in psychology about verbal persuasion. Encouragement from others can boost your self-belief, especially when it comes from someone that you trust. So don't be too proud to seek encouragement or accountability. Ask a friend to remind you of your strengths. Hire a coach. Join a mastermind. It's not a weakness. It's strategy. Even I do this. I still intentionally surround myself with positive voices every day. I say I like to collect good people. You know what I do every morning? I listen to powerful messages from people like Elon Musk and Steve Jobs and Oprah Winfrey, my virtual mentors. Basically, I have them whispering in my ear via YouTube. I curate my environment to force feed my self-belief. Why? Because I'm human. I have doubts. I have low moments too. But when I hear Steve Jobs say something inspiring to me in the morning, suddenly my brain goes, let's go. Time to do something amazing. You can do the same. Protect your environment. Reduce the time you spend with people who make you feel small or insecure, and increase time with those who uplift you with inspiring content that motivates you. And over time, those positive voices become your own. Also, if you want to take real action after this video, I made a free worksheet just for you. Covers the top lessons from today, gives you space to write your biggest takeaways, and helps you build a simple action plan. It's 100% free. Just click the link in the description to go grab it. I'll see you there. Do the hard things on purpose. So let's talk about another powerful strategy to build your confidence. Do the hard things on purpose. Most people shy away from discomfort. I want you to seek it out in small ways. This is one of my weird little hacks. I actually keep a big unopened bag of Doritos behind me. You can see it behind me on the wall here. I'm not kidding. It's there at all times. Why? Because it tempts me, because I love Doritos. And conventional advice says remove the temptations from your environment, but I do the opposite. I keep the temptation in front of me as a training tool. I'm drooling right now thinking about it. Every day I see that bag, I get that urge, and then I prove to myself that I'm stronger than a craving. Damn the Doritos. I don't open it. I don't eat one chip. And guess what? The high I get from winning that tiny battle is actually incredible. It's not about the chips. It's about training self-discipline and proving to myself that I control me. It's my daily reminder that I'm awesome for not eating them. It builds self-respect, which in turn builds self-confidence. Because I can say no to Doritos, what else can I do? Maybe I can say no to distractions when I need to focus. Maybe I can do one more rep when I want to quit. It becomes a domino effect for your confidence. Now, you don't have to use junk food like me. I'm a weird duck, I know, but find your own small way to challenge yourself daily. Take a cold shower in the morning. Do that one task that you've been procrastinating on for weeks. Speak up in a meeting, even if your voice shakes a little bit. These little acts of courage compound over time. You're training your brain with evidence. I do tough things. I can handle it. Confidence is earned through challenge, not through comfort. Remember too, the confidence is not the same as arrogance. Arrogance is thinking that you're already perfect and better than others. Confidence is knowing you can improve and achieve what you set your mind to. It's a big difference. In fact, truly confident people are usually the most humble because they're not scared of admitting what they don't know. They have the confidence to say, I don't have the answer, but I'll find out. So if one of your objections has been, well, I don't want to be too cocky, drop that. Working on your confidence is about service. The more confidence you have, the more you can serve others with your business, with your art, with your message. Think about it. If I was too insecure to make these videos, I wouldn't be here helping right now. I had to get over myself to be able to serve. And you developing confidence will help you make the impact that you're capable of too. Confidence is a journey. Understand that confidence is a journey, not a destination. Even after you become a more confident person, you'll find new levels of challenges that test you, and that's normal. Every time you grow, you'll feel like a bit of a newbie again. Even the greats feel this. I've met millionaires and industry titans who privately admit they still wrestle with self-doubt. Can I do it again? Was I just lucky? Imposter syndrome can hit anyone. The key is when those thoughts come, you don't let them take the wheel of your life. You acknowledge them and you keep moving. One of my favorite mindsets is you might not fully believe in yourself yet, but you can believe in your ability to figure it out. You trust in your resourcefulness. That's enough to take the next step. And with each step, your confidence catches up a little more. So I want to acknowledge you for watching this video today, for caring enough about your growth to be here. Most people won't even take that step, and you did. And that shows that you're serious about becoming the person that you are meant to be. Keep going, keep believing, and every time you step up and bet on yourself, you're not only changing your world, you might just change the world. You've got this. Now go show yourself what you're made of. And congratulations, you're one video closer to who you're meant to be. Believe. Now let's learn the Spartan mindset, how to become unbreakable without becoming cold.
If you're an entrepreneur and you're not mentally tough, you will fail. The world will break you if you let it, especially in business. You have to become unbreakable to achieve your dreams. But here's the thing. Unbreakable does not mean unemotional or unkind. You can be tough as a Spartan and still have a heart. In fact, that's the only way it truly works. The Spartan mindset, strength at all costs. Let's talk about Spartans. These were the warriors so tough that their name is literally synonymous with toughness. Picture this, 480 BC, Thermopylae. The Persian army, hundreds of thousands strong, demands that a tiny Greek force surrender. King Leonidas of Sparta refuses. The battle begins. Day 1. Wave after wave of Persians attack and the Spartans push them back, inflicting heavy losses. Day 2. The Persians try again with their elite troops. Still no break. The invaders are unable to break through the Greek defenses. Think about that. The greatest empire of the time couldn't make a dent in 300 Spartans and their Greek allies for 2 whole days. They only won on day 3 by surrounding the Spartans, who fought to the last breath rather than give up. The Spartans became legends of resilience because they refused to break. That's the Spartan mindset. No surrender. No, I can't take this. It's whatever it takes until the job is done or you're dead on the field. Now, as entrepreneurs, we thankfully don't have to face invading armies, but we do face attacks, failures, rejections, market crashes, haters, self-doubt, you name it. And the question is, will you stand firm like a Spartan, or will you surrender at the first arrow life shoots at you? The fear of going cold. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Evan, I get it. I need to be tougher, But I'm afraid if I harden myself like that, won't I lose my compassion? Won't I have to become a jerk or a robot to survive? This is the biggest doubt you might have about building strength. You worry that if you become unbreakable, you'll also become cold, that you'll sacrifice your kindness, your empathy, your humanity. And I hear you. It is a valid concern. Nobody wants to turn into a heartless machine just to succeed and make money. Being unbreakable does not mean being unfeeling. Real strength isn't about shutting off your emotions. It's about learning to control them, to channel them, and not be controlled by them. You don't have to sacrifice empathy to build resilience. Actually, if you do, you're likely to hurt yourself and your business in the long run. Strength without kindness is empty, and kindness without strength is ineffective. You need both. Think of it this way. A Spartan's warrior heart was in protecting his people. The 300 at Thermopylae weren't fighting just for glory. They were fighting out of love for their homeland and their families behind them. Their purpose gave them their strength. Your purpose can give you your strength without making you cold. My story, breaking my neck and breaking my limits. So in 2019, I went on a 90-day, 23-city tour to speak to entrepreneurs just like you. I was on a mission, my mission to spread belief. And about 2 months in, something crazy happened. I blacked out and broke my neck in 2 spots. Yeah, you heard that right. I literally broke my neck in 2 spots. I also compressed my spine. I got a concussion. I needed staples in my head. The doctors put me in a neck brace. They put me in a neck brace so that I could wear this 24/7. I could barely move. Every single step I took hurt. Now, I had every reason to quit the tour. No one would blame me for stopping. I mean, hey, guys, I'm going home. I broke my neck. It's a pretty good excuse to cancel the rest of the dates, right? But I didn't cancel. I finished the last month of my tour wearing this neck brace, injury and all. I sat on stage in city after city, unable to turn my head, looking like Frankenstein's little cousin. And I still delivered my speeches. Why? Because I promised myself and all of you that I would show up, because I had people in each city who had bought tickets, who were counting on me to help them, because I'm built to serve. My purpose to inspire others made me unbreakable, even when my body literally broke. Now, did that ordeal make me cold and cruel? Not at all. In fact, it made me more compassionate. I felt an even deeper gratitude and love for the people I met because I saw how much they believed in me to continue. It reinforced why I do what I do, to help. I learned that true resilience is fueled by love and purpose, not anger and bitterness. So lying in that hospital bed in Denver, I decided I'm going to show what belief can do. If I can still show up for others with a broken neck, what excuse do I have when I'm healthy? And that's the Spartan mindset. Push through the pain for a cause that's greater than the pain. And let me tell you, when you push through like that, you shift your identity. I went from doubting if I could go on to taking action one painful step at a time, to transforming into a guy who knows he can do the things he sets his mind to. That's why I still keep this on my shelf here at home. And that's exactly what I want for you, to experience that shift from doubt into action to transformation in your own life. Strong and kind, the power of compassionate resilience. So, how do you become unbreakable without turning into a stone cold jerk? How do you develop a Spartan's toughness and still keep a warm heart? It's absolutely possible. In fact, I think it's the only sustainable way. And don't just take my word for it. Let's look at some of the science and some real world evidence to back it up. Psychology proves that kindness builds strength. We often think that we have to be hard on ourselves or others to toughen up. It's wrong. Recent research shows that kindness towards ourselves actually builds stronger mental toughness than harsh self-judgment ever could. Being overly critical might feel like you're being strict or disciplined, but it actually undermines your resilience. Now, on the flip side, self-compassion, treating yourself with understanding and patience, creates the mental safety net you need to bounce back faster. A 2021 analysis of 27 studies found that people who practice self-compassion have greater emotional resilience, recover faster from setbacks, and persist more towards their goals than people who are harsh on themselves. Think about that. Being kind to yourself makes you tougher. So being soft with yourself in a healthy way actually makes you harder to break. Great leaders lead with empathy. Empathy is not a weakness, it's a superpower. Microsoft's CEO Satya Nadella famously said that among all leadership qualities, none of it matters without empathy. Early in his career, he was even told during an interview, you need to develop empathy, when he gave a too logical answer to a problem. And he took that to heart. Under Nadella's leadership, Microsoft transformed, not by becoming softer in a bad way, but by infusing a culture of empathy and trust. And the result was a stronger, more innovative company. The lesson is, You can demand excellence and be resilient through crisis while also caring deeply about your team and customers. In fact, that empathy might be the glue that holds everyone together when things get tough. Strong back, soft front. Courage and vulnerability. Researcher Brene Brown uses a phrase borrowed from a Buddhist teacher, which goes like this: strong back, soft front. It means have a strong spine, stand your ground, know your values, that's your strong back, but keep a soft front, stay open, vulnerable, curious, soft front. In other words, be tough-minded, but tender-hearted. This idea is, I think, awesome for entrepreneurs. It's not about wearing your armor 24/7 and trusting no one. It's about having solid confidence and boundaries that you won't break or bend on what really matters while still being vulnerable enough to listen, to learn, to care. You need that balance. If you go all hard front, hard back, you become brittle, defensive, isolated. That's when you actually do become cold and breakable. But strong back, soft front, you become resilient and adaptable. You can stand firm through all the storms, but you also give and receive support. You can bend without breaking. Now, maybe you're thinking, all right, Evan, I believe it in theory, but how do I actually do this? How do I train myself to be strong and kind at the same time? Great question. Let's get practical. Building your unbreakable but not unfeeling mindset. So to develop a Spartan mindset with a heart, you need to train in two areas: your mental toughness and your compassion. Think of it like when you're forging steel, you're making a sword. It takes tempering, which is heat and pressure, and then quenching, cooling, right, to make the blade strong. So here are 3 practical steps to help you get started. Number 1, embrace discomfort daily. Train like a Spartan trains. The Spartans became unbreakable by training in discomfort constantly. You can do this in modern life. Seek out controlled challenges to toughen your mind. It could be taking cold showers. It could be doing that workout when you don't feel like it. It could be making that sales call you're afraid to make, or waking up an hour earlier than you want to, releasing your first YouTube video. Push your limits a little bit every day. Discomfort is your gym. It's where you build those resilience muscles. When you voluntarily do hard things, you teach yourself, I can handle this. Then when involuntary hard things like crises hit, it's not your first time in the ring. Importantly, when you face these challenges, do it with intention, not anger. So for example, decide that today you'll work on a tough project for 2 hours straight, no interruptions. It will be hard and your brain will whine. But when you complete it, celebrate that win. It wires your brain that hardship is training, not trauma. And as you embrace discomfort, remember why you're doing it: to become stronger for your ultimate mission. That purpose keeps you from growing bitter. You're not doing hard things for the sake of misery. You're doing it to build capacity to serve and succeed. Next, practice compassion. It's a strength, not a softness. This might sound very counterintuitive, but to avoid becoming emotionally cold, you need to actively practice kindness to yourself and others as you pursue your goals. Start with self-compassion. When you fail or hit a wall, watch your self-talk. Instead of berating yourself and yelling at yourself, you're the worst, pause and speak to yourself like you would to your best friend. Literally say something like, this is tough. Anyone would find it hard. I'm not alone in struggling. Let's figure this out. I can grow from this. I will get better. Great things come to me. This isn't being easy on yourself. It's being smart. Remember, beating yourself up only floods you with stress and makes you less resilient, while self-compassion boosts your learning and comeback power. So give yourself that pep talk with understanding, not a drill sergeant scolding. Next, extend compassion to others around you too. As a leader, challenge yourself to perform an act of kindness each day. Even under stress. It could be as simple as thanking an employee or checking in on a colleague who's having a rough time. One thing I do every morning is I record a video that I send to my team, and I'm recognizing at least one person on the team. This keeps your humanity alive and well. It reminds you why you're fighting, not just for numbers, but for people. And guess what? Kindness is contagious and strengthens the bonds in your team and your network. Those strong relationships become part of your resilience. When you know you're all fighting together and care about each other, you can go 10 times harder and endure more because you're not alone and you know it matters. Next, set boundaries and stand for your values. So being kind does not mean being a pushover. Spartans had a code. Lines they would not cross or let others cross. You need your own code of values and boundaries. Decide what you stand for. Integrity, quality, whatever is core. I call it your one word. I wrote a book about it. And be uncompromising on that, no matter what the pressure. Also, set boundaries for how you're treated and how you spend your time. If you're always saying yes to everyone to please people, you will get stretched and snapped. Boundaries keep you strong. They are a form of self-respect and respect for your mission. So, for example, you might set a boundary that you don't tolerate abuse from clients or team members. Everyone must treat each other with respect. That doesn't make you weak. It makes you principled. Or you set a boundary that you're going to carve non-negotiable time for rest or for family. So you stay balanced and you don't burn out, right? Burnout becomes your path to coldness because you have nothing left to give. When you enforce these boundaries, do it calmly, do it firmly. You don't have to get angry. It's possible to say no with a smile. In fact, the true Spartan mindset requires saying no to distractions and toxic influences, because by protecting your time, your energy, your values, you actually increase your capacity to be patient and kind where it truly matters. You're creating a focused, values-driven life. And that focus is strong and steady, and it means when you show up for others, you're actually fully there. You can be kind because you've taken care of your strength. Think of it like this. A warrior sharpens his sword, right? That's building toughness, and also keeps it clean and oiled. That's maintaining kindness. You like that one? I like that one. Both are needed for the sword to perform at its best. By following these steps, you're training both sides of the coin, your inner Spartan warrior and your inner compassionate leader. Over time, you'll notice something amazing happens. The more that you push yourself to be strong and the more you nurture your empathy, the less fear you have. You won't be afraid that toughness will make you cruel because you see your kindness growing alongside your grit. And you won't be afraid that being kind makes you weak because you'll see yourself overcoming challenges like a beast, like a Spartan. You'll realize kindness is your edge, it's not your enemy. Transformation from soft to strong and loving it. So imagine yourself a few months from now, a challenge hits, because they always do. And your immediate reaction is not panic. It's not asking why me. It's not running away. Instead, you square up like a Spartan on a battlefield. All right, let's go. I've been training for this. You take a deep breath, you remember your purpose, you recall that there are people you care about depending on you, and you charge forward. And because you've also kept your heart open, you're not just charging forward alone, you have allies. You're not just fighting for yourself, you're leading with clarity and passion. It's an identity shift from seeing yourself as a potential victim of circumstances into a warrior for your dream and a guardian for the people that you serve. Remember, unbreakable doesn't mean never bending. It means you bend and you bounce back every time. The Spartan mindset in the 21st century isn't about shutting down your emotions. It's about being the warrior, the one who fights for love. Love of the craft, love of your family, love of your vision of a better world. So the next time someone tells you, nice guys finish last, or you worry that being empathetic is a liability, think of Leonidas fighting for his people. Think of a mother working 12-hour shifts to feed her kids. Think of a CEO valuing empathy and still crushing goals. Think of me sitting on stage with a broken neck because I cared about my community. Strength and kindness can coexist, and together they're invincible. So now it's your turn. Take a step back and ask, where do I need to toughen up, and where can I be kinder to myself or others as I do it? Identify one action for each and do it today. Maybe you'll finally start that project you've been procrastinating on. That's your toughness training. And you'll also forgive yourself for procrastinating. That's your compassion training. And get back on track. Maybe you'll hold an employee accountable for a mistake, toughness, but do it in a way that coaches them rather than belittles them in front of others, kindness. These little choices, they build your new identity. Do not be afraid of the struggle. Embrace it. And do not be afraid of your empathy. Embrace that too. Combine them, and you become an unstoppable force for good. This is how you become unbreakable without becoming cold, by forging yourself in fire and in love.
Now let's learn why social media is stealing your success.
Social media is stealing your success. It's tricking you into feeling productive because you can get clients there, but it's actively robbing you of focus every single day. And if you keep letting social media steal your attention, you'll never become the successful entrepreneur that you were meant to be. Odysseus knew all about dangerous distractions. On his journey home, he was warned about the sirens. These were creatures whose enchanting songs lured sailors to their doom. Odysseus still wanted to hear their song, but he refused to lose everything for it. So he plugged his crew's ears with wax and had them tie him tightly to his ship's mast. As they rowed past the Sirens' Island, Odysseus begged and screamed for release. The song was that irresistible, but his men were unable to hear him, and they were under strict orders to keep him tied up. His ship sailed to safety because Odysseus removed his ability to give into temptation. He felt the pull of the siren's call, the same pull that you feel right now every time your phone buzzes with a new notification while you are trying to get work done. I felt that pull in my own life too. When I was starting my business, I had to sacrifice a lot of distractions that my friends were calling fun. I remember allowing myself only one social night out per month, partially because I was broke and I just couldn't afford it, but also because I was laser focused on making my company work. And listen, it was hard. It was hard watching everyone else relax and have fun while I worked. I felt like I was missing out, but I told myself that I do difficult things and I did not want to let the FOMO or fear stop me from taking action. So saying no to almost everything that wasn't building my business became the thing that saved me. Every hour I saved from mindless parties or entertainment was an hour invested into my dream. Now, maybe you're thinking exactly one of our subscribers, Swoggles Ute, asked, how do I avoid getting distracted by social media when that's where I get my clients? And I get it. It feels like you have to be on all the time or you're going to lose business. But ask yourself, are you using social media or is it using you? And if it's truly a tool for clients, then you should be in control of it, not endlessly scrolling, not constantly checking. Just like a bartender can't be drunk on the job, an entrepreneur can't be hooked on the feed and expect to stay effective. So, a flip. Being always online isn't what lands you clients. Delivering value is. In fact, many entrepreneurs realized too late that social media was a vanity trap. It felt like work, but it wasn't moving the needle. Tanya Dalton, a CEO of 14 years, discovered none of her best clients had even found her through social media. All that posting and checking was requiring maximum time, energy, and money for minimal dollars. For her, social media was a distraction from true success. So yes, your clients might be on social, but they don't need you glued to it 24/7. They need you at your best. So you're creative, you're focused, you're delivering results, and that means that you need to take back control. So how do you actually do it? How do you beat social media distraction without losing the connections that matter for your business? Let's break it down. Here are 5 strategies to free yourself from social media distractions and up your productivity. Step number 1, recognize the true cost of distraction. You must start by getting honest about how these little quick checks are actually stealing from you. It's more than you think. The average person now spends about 2 hours and 21 minutes per day on social media. That's over 2 hours of your day gone every day. For an entrepreneur, that's huge because time is your most valuable asset. And it's not just the minutes spent scrolling. Every time you get pulled away from work to take a little peek at your feed on that notification, you lose momentum. Research from the University of California, Irvine shows that after even a brief interruption, it takes about 23 minutes and 15 seconds to fully regain focus on your original task. 23 minutes! Think about that. A quick 2-minute Instagram check could cost you nearly half an hour of productive work by the time your brain gets back into gear. Do that multiple times a day and hours disappear. These platforms are designed to be addictive. It's not a personal failing that you feel the urge to check. It's by design. Former Facebook president Sean Parker admitted they built social media to exploit your psychology, saying, God only knows what it's doing to our children's brains. Scrolling gives you a quick dopamine hit, a little reward, and that trains you to keep coming back. But those quick hits come at the expense of your long-term goals. So I need you to internalize this. Every time you're distracted by social media, you're paying with something irreplaceable: your time, your energy, and your mental clarity. It's like compound interest in reverse, though. Small distractions snowball into big losses. Once you see the true cost, you'll feel far more urgency to actually change. Number 2, set strict boundaries and stick to them. The next step is to regain control by setting hard rules for when, how, and why you use social media. Think of it like installing guardrails on a winding road. Without them, it's too easy to go off a cliff. So schedule your social media time. Literally block it out on your calendar like an appointment. For example, instead of constantly hopping in and out of apps all day, you decide, I'll handle all of my social media work between 4 and 5 p.m. every day, and that's it. This is called time blocking, and it's a game changer for productivity. Experts recommend creating a dedicated block, like 60 minutes, for emails and social media tasks, rather than letting them interrupt you all day long. So during that block, you focus only on those tasks: responding to client DMs, posting content, checking industry trends, and nothing else. When the time is up, you log off and you get out. Why is this effective? Because you're training your brain brain that social media time has a defined start and end. It's not a constant background noise anymore. It's a scheduled activity with a purpose. You go in with intention and you leave when you're done. This structure prevents the slippery slope of, I'll just check for a minute, which then turns into 30 minutes before you know it. Also, set physical boundaries if you can. So maybe you decide you only use social media from your laptop or at your desk, not on your phone, not on the couch. By changing the context, you make it easier to stick to your habit. Or on your work computer, you might even have a separate browser profile just for business social media with no algorithmic news feed to tempt you. And outside of that business hour, log out of your accounts. Make it slightly inconvenient to get back on. That friction becomes your friend. Remember, entrepreneurs lead. They don't follow endless rabbit holes. One entrepreneur I mentioned earlier, Tanya Dalton, called out the limiting belief that you have to be on every platform constantly. Once she set boundaries and eventually cut out her social media, her business didn't die, it grew. Think about that. By refocusing her time on more meaningful connections like emails and live events, she stood out in a crowded marketplace. So, your turn. Decide right now when and where you will engage with social media and hold that line. Hold. Your focus will thank you. Number 3, use social media with purpose. Become a producer, not a consumer. So a big mindset shift here is to treat social media as a tool for your business, not a toy for your boredom. There's a massive difference between using social media intentionally and letting it use you. If social media is where you find clients, then approach it like a business task. That means you go on each platform with a clear objective. So example, I'm going to post an update about our new service, or I'm going to unanswer comments and then message 3 potential leads, right? You have a to-do list for your social session. If it's not on the to-do list, you don't do it. You're there to create value, not consume randomness. The moment you find yourself drifting into the timeline with no aim, stop. That's like wandering into the forest without a trail. You'll get lost in there for ages. So here's a strategy. Create more than you consume. For every piece of content you consume, like watching someone else's story or a post, aim to create one of your own. A post, a reply, a helpful comment, a story. This keeps you in the mindset of an active contributor, not just a passive scroller. It also directly benefits your business, content, and engagement that your clients or prospects see, rather than you silently comparing yourself to others' highlight reels, right? Also, focus on the high-value interactions and ditch the vanity metrics. Followers and likes are nice, but if they aren't translated into business, they become a distraction. So double down on the social media activities that actually generate leads or build relationships. Maybe it's posting valuable content. Maybe it's participating in a niche forum or group where your clients are hanging out. Tanya's wake-up call was realizing that she was chasing follower counts while none of her soulmate clients, as she calls them, came from those followers. She switched to channels that mattered, like her podcast and email, once she saw the data. So in your case, figure out which 20% of your social media actions drive 80% of the results. That's the Pareto principle in action. Do more of those and feel free to cut the rest. You do not need to do everything. You need to do the right things. Finally, embrace the idea of delayed gratification. Building a business is a long game, and sometimes you have to forgo the instant gratification of a quick scroll for the sake of a bigger reward. The famous Stanford marshmallow experiment showed that children who resisted the temptation of one treat now, waiting to get 2 treats later, tended to have better life outcomes and success as they grew up. The ability to delay gratification is like a superpower for entrepreneurs. Every time you resist opening that app and instead invest that time in your craft, your product, your skills, your clients, you're essentially waiting for the second marshmallow. You're trading a fleeting moment of amusement for a step closer to that dream outcome of yours. That's a trade that winners make. Number 4, eliminate triggers and distractions in your environment. So even with strong boundaries and a clear purpose, willpower alone can fail if you're constantly tempted. So the solution is to proactively remove or reduce the triggers that pull you off track. Make it easier to do the right thing and harder to do the wrong thing. So start with notifications. These are basically digital siren songs. The pings, the buzzes, the little red dots, they're designed to grab your attention immediately. Turn them off, all of them. That's what I do, except the truly critical ones. You don't need a ding every time someone likes a post or every time an acquaintance tweets something out. Those can wait until your scheduled social media time. Even better, log out of the social media apps, we talked about this, entirely during work blocks so they can't notify you at all. Consider what Ed Sheeran did. He got so tired of feeling overwhelmed and sad by his phone constantly pulling at him that he completely got rid of his smartphone in 2015. Now that's extreme, but listen to his reasoning. He said after ditching the phone, it was like a veil just lifted. Suddenly he could live life uninterrupted. In an interview, he described how even if he tried to ignore his phone buzzing in his pocket during a conversation, part of his mind would fixate on like, who was that? What was that vibration? I'm kind of listening to you, but I'm also thinking about the phone. That is exactly what every notification does to you. It fractures your attention. So take a page from Ed. Remove the buzz. Even if you don't throw your phone in the ocean, you can turn it on silent. You can put it face down. You can leave it in another room when you need to focus. Out of sight, out of mind. Next, look at your digital environment. If you find yourself wasting time on certain apps or sites, use tech to fight tech. There are website blockers and apps like Freedom or Focus Me or even built-in screen time controls that can block access to specific sites during the hours that you choose. If Instagram is your culprit, you might do your business posting from a desktop browser where you don't get the addictive Explore feed. If YouTube sucks you in, consider a browser extension that hides the recommended videos. Yes, these things all exist. You can use them. It's like putting locks on the cookie jar if you're on a diet. Nothing wrong with structuring your environment to support your goals. And don't forget the physical environment. If you work from home, is the TV on in the background with news or Netflix? Turn it off. That's another distraction. Are there other easy buttons for procrastination around, like a gaming console right next to your workstation, right? Mute them, hide them, whatever it takes. Create a workspace that signals this is where I focus. Sometimes just a change in setting can help. So example, you could work from a library or co-working space where the atmosphere is everyone is concentrating. It's harder to slack off when those around you are dialed in. The goal here is to engineer your surroundings so that staying on task is the path of least resistance. When you do this, you rely far less on sheer willpower, which can fluctuate, and more on habit and structure. You're tying yourself to the mast, just like Odysseus. So even the siren songs, when they start playing, you simply can't steer towards it because you've set yourself up to prevent it. Number 5, prioritize deep work and real connections. Ultimately, overcoming social media distraction isn't just about what you avoid, it's about what you do instead. It's about making the meaningful work and connection so fulfilling that the shallow stuff loses its appeal. One concept I love is deep work, coined by author Cal Newport, which is the act of focusing without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. This is where you produce your best work, you have your best ideas, and you truly move the needle in your business forward. When you schedule time for deep work, treat it as sacred. During those periods, protect them fiercely. No social media, no trivial emails, nothing that isn't related to the important project at hand that's in front of you. You might start with just 30 minutes of deep work a day and build up. But when you're in it, be in it. You'll find that not only do you get more done, you also get a sort of satisfaction that mindless scrolling can never compete with. The human brain actually enjoys focus. It's where we find states of flow and accomplishment. After a good session of creating or problem solving, checking social media will feel more like a cheap dessert. You know, maybe it's like tasty and sweet for a second, but not nearly as nourishing as a meal of deep work that you just had. And over time, you'll crave the focus more than the distraction. Also, lean into real-world connections and experiences. One reason we reflexively check social media, it's due to loneliness and boredom. We seek connection or a break. You can fulfill those needs in a far healthier way. Instead of chatting in a comment thread, call up a friend or a fellow entrepreneur and have a real conversation, right? Instead of watching a random video at a break, step outside and take a short walk. Get some fresh air. Let your mind wander a little bit. It's okay to be a little bit bored. These things rejuvenate you far more. Ed Sheeran mentioned that the best part of quitting the smartphone was the moments he has now, the uninterrupted with the people that he loves. That's the goal. Those real moments give life the richness. And guess what? When you're happier and more fulfilled offline, you're less likely to seek escape online. Finally, work on adopting the identity of a focused, disciplined entrepreneur. This is crucial. Tell yourself, I'm the kind of person who values my vision over short-term urges. I am a leader, not a follower. I run my business. I don't let distractions run me. When social media tempts you, this identity will kick in. No, that's not who I am. I don't scroll mindlessly when I have a mission to fulfill. This isn't just willpower, it's self-image, and we are all wired to act consistently with who we believe we are. So if you dropped the hashtag believe in the comments before, you know this community, Believe Nation, it's all about building belief. So start believing that you are indistractable, that you are focused, that you can handle the discomfort of not checking your phone for a few hours because you've got something more important cooking up right now. And here's the beauty. Each day that you follow these steps, each day that you stick to your schedule, that you get your deep work done, that you avoid all the nonsense, you reinforce that identity. You prove to yourself that you are in control. The distractions lose its power over you because you decide what matters. You decide. You'll start seeing results. Maybe in those extra hours of productive work, you design a better product, or you reach out to more clients, or you simply end your day feeling proud of yourself instead of feeling drained. And those results pour into the motivation to continue. So it becomes a virtuous cycle for you. Every time that you overcome a distraction, you strengthen your focus muscle. The fact that you're here right now watching this and you're working on yourself shows that you mean business. You're not just avoiding social media, you're becoming a person who values their purpose over pleasure. So keep applying these strategies and you'll do more, you'll feel better, and you'll lead better.
To see a fun motivational speech I made, check the video right there next to me. I think you'll love it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
Doubt kills more dreams than failure ever will, because it's not failure that holds you back. It's the fear of even trying in the first place. If you keep letting doubt win, you'll wake up one day full of regret, and regret weighs more than failure ever will.